This is Donnie of AD Crafty YouTube channel. This is my very first video. This is really just a test, but I'm checking to see how things look, how things sound. What I'm going to try to do with this series is to show you small, inexpensive sewing projects that will provide you with ways to give gifts, make accessories for yourself, especially if you find some fabric that you absolutely love and you're not sure exactly what to do with it. I'll give you some hints on that. I'll also have a board on Pinterest to show where I got some of my ideas and instructions. I just like to do my own videos, and hopefully you'll enjoy them and you'll learn something. Today I'm starting at the very beginning of sewing to let you know some of the pitfalls and things that you're going to run into that will drive you crazy, and if you keep these things in mind now, you won't go insane trying to learn how to sew or trying to do your projects. So what I have is a fat quarter. I've got it laid out. I've already washed it, and you can tell it's been washed because look at how frayed that edge is. One of the things that you're going to run into, unless you go to a really good fabric shop that tears their material, is you're going to have uneven edges. So the thing I like to do first is see which end has the uneven edges. Well, both of them are going to, but see how this one kind of tapers up. So what I'm going to do is start with this smaller edge right here, and I'm going to make a notch. It doesn't have to be very far in, you just want enough to grab. And then you're going to tear. And I know this is going to scare the behooties out of you, but go ahead and just rip it right down the line. And what that's going to do is give you a very straight seam. Now you want to do this before you iron. Well, I'll show you. And just toss that part away. Now you've got what looks like a really rolly hem here, but we're going to fix that, so don't worry. So you want to turn the fabric down this way and do the same thing. Kind of guesstimate how far in it goes. I'm going to come into about here. And yes, it does seem like you're wasting fabric, but this is going to give you a very good seam for your projects, a nice clean seam, and it gives you this strip that's about like this that you're not going to be able to do much with. Ha ha ha, or are you? So I've got a whole pile of those right here from the fat quarters that I bought yesterday, and they all kind of go together, of course, because I bought them for a project. So I'm going to save those, and I'll show you what to do with those, because there's a really cool thing you can do with these long strips, and with any strip really that is about an inch or a little bit, half an inch to an inch wide. And you're going to have a lot of those if you get into sewing, just from squaring materials off and cutting patterns and things like that. So get yourself a little bin or a big Ziploc bag or something like that, and keep those there, and then when you've got a good stash, I'll show you what to do with them. Okay, so this edge we don't need to do anything with. It's the selvage edge. Normally you would probably go ahead and cut that off. However, I'm going to be using it just because it's a nice clean edge, and I don't want to waste any more fabric. So I come to the opposite edge and do the clip and tear thing again. How do you love my cinematography style here? Yeah, this is what's called not having a cameraman. Okay, let me tear this one. And there we go. You are going to have some places where it's gathered and bunched. Of course, I say that, and I don't see any on this one. But note that when I'm ironing, and you always want to iron, always, 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 because even though this looks fairly flat and you can get a nice outcome, the first time you wash something after you've made it, if you have not ironed it, everything is going to go back to basically a factory reset, and it's going to go all wonky on you. So the best thing to do, and I learned this the very hard way many, many years ago, the best thing to do is to go ahead, take the time, wash it, dry it, trim it, and then iron it. And then even if you don't use it that day, you can hang it up somewhere. I'll give some ideas for that as well. You can hang it up somewhere so that it's ready to go when you are. But to be perfectly honest, this whole process has taken me less than 20 minutes for 4 fat quarters, because I've already done this set. And that included the slice and trim and the ironing. So when you're ironing, if you've never used an iron before, you want to use one that has steam. See, this one has steam power. And you want to start in the middle of your fabric and press out towards the edges. I'll bet you'd like to know the reason for that. The reason for that is that even though it looked flat, it was still kind of rumpledy. So if you're pressing along the edges, you're going to end up with some wonky edges, even though they're trimmed properly. If, however, you start in the middle, you're pressing all of those wrinkles out to the sides, and then once you get to the sides, look how pretty that is. See? That's gorgeous, and it only took a second to do that. Okay, and then we flip our fabric, and we do it again. Now I'm doing this in real time. I don't know if I'm going to edit it out or if I'm going to leave it so that you can see exactly how little time it takes. That way when you're planning out your project, you know about how long to start ahead of time, and you won't get, you know, hey, it's 5 minutes until the birthday party and I've still got 3 seams to sew. Unless you're like me, and then you do that anyway. So there we go. This piece is ready. I'm actually not using it in my project today. This is going to go into something else, but we'll use it. I love it. You can't really tell, but it's a beautiful purple, mottled purple. It looks blue in this camera. This camera apparently does not like purple. So you're not done with your iron, but you can set it off to the side so that it's ready for you the next time you are ready. And I highly suggest either an ironing cutting grid or a small ironing station at your sewing table. See, I have my sewing machine. I have all kinds of little stuff over here. I'm very messy. I apologize for that. But see, this particular ironing board, I'll be able to tear down, and then I can just put it down by my side and it'll be ready when I need to iron stuff. If I had been smart and put my leaf up on my sewing table, I could slide the ironing board over there and just slide it back and forth as I needed it. I was not that smart, and I don't have the energy to do it today, so there you go. Okay, so I'm going to get ready for our first project.